why you can't fix your own car anymore, and the law that made it that way. The repair monopoly exposed. In 2006, you could fix your own car with a $20 code reader and a wrench. In 2026, the same repair requires a dealer-only scan tool that costs $8,000, a manufacturer login that expires every 90 days, and in 12 states, legal authorization from the same dealership that caused the problem. Ford did this deliberately. GM did this deliberately. Toyota, Honda, Stellantis, every major manufacturer coordinated the same transition on the same timeline. The right to repair movement, 47 million vehicle owners, 4,000 independent shops, $391 billion in aftermarket economic activity, has been fighting to reverse it ever since. Today we expose how the repair monopoly was built, who paid to protect it, and the 3 moves that make your vehicle permanently immune before the window closes. By the end of this video, you will know more about who controls your car than the dealership that sold it to you, how it happened. This did not happen overnight. It was a 20-year engineering decision disguised as a safety upgrade. In 1996, the federal government mandated OBD-II, a standardized diagnostic port on every vehicle sold in America. Universal, open. Any mechanic with any compatible tool could read any vehicle's fault codes. That was the law, and for a decade, it worked exactly as intended. Then manufacturers started adding proprietary layers on top of the open standard. And here is the part that should make you physically angry. The OBD-II port was mandated open by an act of Congress. Manufacturers built proprietary walls around a federally mandated open standard in broad daylight with zero enforcement. And Congress did nothing, which means the law designed to protect your access to your own vehicle's data was used as cover to build the system that eliminated it. By 2012, every major manufacturer had built a proprietary wall around the same port Congress mandated be kept open. A $20 reader still pulls basic codes, but the fuel trim data, the transmission tables, the ADAS calibration requirements, the immobilizer programming were all locked behind manufacturer-specific software that independent shops cannot access without a paid subscription. A subscription to access data from a vehicle you own. Danny B could not find a seatbelt module for his 2010 Nissan Altima, not because the part did not exist, because Nissan had already walked away from the supply chain. His family's safety was discontinued as a product line. Jim Kahana's 2017 Lincoln MKZ had every HVAC actuator fail before 80,000 miles, programmed to default to maximum cold because Ford built the failure mode into the firmware. The dealer's quote to confirm the failure was $180 per hour. This is not a parts problem. This is an access problem, and the access was removed on purpose. But here is what most people covering this story miss entirely. The diagnostic lockout was only phase 1. The 3 locks. The repair monopoly is not one system. It is 3 overlapping locks, each one designed to make the previous lock more effective. Lock 1, the data wall, proprietary diagnostic protocols requiring manufacturer authorization, already in place, already affecting every vehicle built after 2010. Lock 2, the parts starvation. 800 mechanics dropped their bypass builds in our comments because the OEM parts supply was deliberately killed on running vehicles. Glow plug controllers for 2005 Silverado diesels, seatbelt modules for 2010 Altimas, ignition lock cylinders replaced by software-dependent fobs. When the part disappears, the only option is the dealer counter, at dealer markup on dealer timeline, with dealer labor rates. The average dealer markup is $47 in profit for every dollar of actual parts cost. That margin exists for one reason: your inability to source the part independently. Lock 3, the calibration requirement, the lock most people have never heard of, and the most dangerous one being deployed right now. Vehicles with advanced driver assistance systems require calibration specific to the manufacturer after any repair that affects sensors, cameras, or radar. A windshield replacement on a 2022 Ford F-150 with a front camera requires a calibration at the dealer, costing $400 to $1,200. The windshield itself costs $300. The calibration is not technically complex. Independent shops can perform it, but the software is locked by the manufacturer. The access codes are available only to dealers. And in 12 states with pending manufacturer authorization legislation, performing that calibration without manufacturer authorization would become a legal violation. 3 locks: data, parts, calibration, each one feeding the next, each one generating revenue at the exact point where you have the least negotiating power. Now here is the move that changes all 3 simultaneously. The 3 moves. The repair monopoly depends on one assumption, that you will accept each lock as permanent. The aftermarket community has been defeating all 3 for years. Here is exactly how. Move 1. Defeat the data wall. A professional bidirectional scan tool, such as an Autel Maxi SWIS, a Launch X431, or a Snap-on Zeus, replicates dealer-level diagnostic capability for a one-time cost between $800 and $2,000 US. Not a subscription, not a manufacturer login, a tool you own permanently that reads what the dealer reads. Manufacturers have lobbied against these tools, specifically in the OEM authorization legislation, which tells you exactly how effective they are. Move 2. Defeat the parts, starvation. The standalone replacement market has built direct alternatives to every major OEM failure point. Holley, Haltech, AEM for engine management. TCI US Shift for transmission control. Universal HVAC controllers for blend door systems. Viewer FLIT 4579 upgraded our GMV ATS bypass with a $5 adjustable resistor that works across every GM platform. The community engineers the solution before the OEM can discontinue the problem. Move 3. Defeat the calibration lock. DAS calibration targets are available from independent suppliers for under $200. The calibration procedure is documented in manufacturer service manuals, legally available through ALLDATA and Mitchell 1 for $26 per month. The dealer controls the software access, and that gap is exactly what the Right to Repair Coalition's federal legislation is designed to close. 3 locks, 3 moves, each one executable today before the legislation passes. But here is the part that should make every car owner in America furious. The political move, H.R. 906, the Repair Act, would require manufacturers to give independent shops and vehicle owners the same diagnostic access, calibration software, and parts data that dealer networks receive. NADA spent $3.3 million lobbying against it in a single congressional cycle. Ford, GM, Toyota, Honda, and Stellantis filed official opposition, spending millions to ensure you cannot fix what you already paid for. Every restriction was deliberate. Every lock was designed. Every repair you cannot complete independently is a revenue event for a dealership that depends entirely on your inability to go anywhere else. The Right to Repair Coalition, 47 million vehicle owners, and 4,000 independent shops can change this. 3 minutes at repairableamerica.org generates a direct legislative contact your representative is legally required to log. 3.3 million versus 47 million vehicle owners. The money loses if the people show up. The mechanic who built his own standalone ECU did not create a safety risk. He eliminated a revenue stream. That is why they wrote the law. The OBD-II port was mandated open by federal law. Manufacturers built walls around it anyway. Parts were supplied until the revenue model changed, then discontinued strategically. Calibration was engineered into safety systems, not because dealer equipment was necessary, but because it was the only equipment they authorized. You paid for the vehicle, you own the vehicle, the repair is yours. If you know someone who was told by a dealer that a repair requires dealer-only equipment, share this video today, because what they were told was not a technical limitation, it was a business decision dressed as one. Which of the 3 locks is affecting your vehicle right now? Data wall, part starvation, or calibration lock? Drop the number in the comments. 1, 2, or 3. Own your machine. The resistance does not ask for permission. We will see you in the next one.